Hey everyone, this is Kronos from Texas Smash. Let's nerd out together. We are getting into our feels today, as this video will cover some very real-world topics through the fictional character of Enji Todoroki, also known as Endeavor. Please don't take me lightly, audience. Enji's story is dark, and sadly all too relatable for many of us. Buckle up. Spoiler warning, this video will contain spoilers for My Hero Academia through Chapter 302 in order to fully discuss Enji's character with all the information available to us today. Time to play judge, jury, and executioner. Like and subscribe. What makes a hero? This isn't some cheesy line to start my video off with. I want you to really think about this one because every person watching this will probably have a unique answer. Answer this question to yourself right now. Pause if you need to. The flame hero Endeavor has resolved more cases than any other hero in the history of My Hero Academia. It is undeniable that this man produces results. But at what cost? Do we care? Should we? I can hear you guys right now. Yes, Kronos, obviously we should care. Well, that's easy to say. Let's roleplay for a second. You're eating dinner with your family at a restaurant. All of a sudden, you find not only your life, but your family's lives at stake because a villain has attacked the restaurant you were eating at. Now you find yourself in a hostage situation, wondering if you'll live to see tomorrow. You see the people you care most for in the entire world in the same predicament. The most likely hero to save you, statistically speaking, is Endeavor. How do you feel now? Let me say it again. Enji Todoroki has solved more cases than anyone in My Hero Academia, ever. That includes Mr. Symbol of Peace. What are you gonna do? You're gonna accept Endeavor's help and survive another day. Don't kid yourself. Okay, Kronos, but that still doesn't mean we shouldn't care about the way he condones himself. Well, to this one I say you're absolutely right. But to what degree? Do we take his hero license because he isn't worthy to be a hero? I wonder how many civilians will not be rescued with Endeavor out of work. Let's revisit this scenario we painted before, except this time Endeavor has been cancelled. No one comes to save you. Do you see where I'm going with this? Is giving Endeavor what's coming to him worth making the day-to-day lives of everyone in the country more dangerous? I am not a fan of My Hero Academia because it's the story of how Deku became the greatest hero. I'm a fan of My Hero Academia because of the beautiful and sometimes all too real world Horikoshi has created. Enji is just but one example of Horikoshi trying to make you think about what's really important. One person may say, sure, Endeavor's the greatest hero, but I'll always hate the man no matter what he does because of what he did. Another may say that Endeavor has earned forgiveness and is living proof that people can change. Some, albeit probably not many, may even go as far to defend Endeavor altogether, past and present. And just as we have different opinions in the real world, the society within My Hero Academia does the exact same thing. And I think if Endeavor existed in real life, he would be treated pretty much exactly how he's been treated in the series. Dabi's video to slander Endeavor's name looked like something straight out of TMZ. Is it right to take a microscope over Enji's personal life and find that he is far from perfect, and then proceed to do everything we can to cancel that man? I'm sure none of us would like for every detail of our lives to be on public display. While maybe not as bad as Endeavor, we've all screwed up before, and we all have skeletons in the closet. But is it right just to ignore everything he did because of his contribution to society? The guy physically and mentally abused his family, and cares more about his reputation than doing the right thing. He didn't care about the people he saved. But those people still got saved. Horikoshi is very careful with the names he selects for characters. The definition of Endeavor is serious, determined effort actively directed toward a goal. Enji has two major endeavors, the first of which was to become the #1 hero. This endeavor was in pursuit of a position Endeavor wanted to hold in society, a title, #1, the strongest. Enji decided this was his path and thus began a tunnel-visioned journey that nothing could stop. Let's go spiral down with Endeavor for a bit. Endeavor went to school at UA, and this dude, Toshinori Yagi, becomes everything Enji wanted to be. All Might was stronger, he was more popular in the public eye, he had the charm and the smile, the symbol of peace. But why? No one worked harder than Endeavor to accomplish that very goal. Maybe not the popularity and the public eye part, but you get the idea. Enji couldn't fathom this. It drove him down a path he would regret forever. Because Enji couldn't wrap his mind around why things were the way they were, he swore that he would make things right, meaning a Todoroki at the top, at any cost. Does this sound like anyone you know in Class 1A today? Bakugo was Endeavor. The difference? Bakugo learned about One for All, and this contributed a ton toward Bakugo understanding how Deku just came out of nowhere and stole the show. Enji never had this luxury, and while it is by no means an excuse for anything he did, this did contribute immensely towards Endeavor's dark past. But was Endeavor's past as dark as you initially thought? Look, let me be clear. Abuse of any kind, physical, mental, is a horrible thing and should not be tolerated. That said, and be honest with me here, were you surprised that Enji did not do more bad things than he actually did in his backstory throughout the recent chapters? Think about the first time we got any insight into Endeavor's past. It's from Shoto's perspective. Later in the series, we get Natsuo's thoughts as well as Dabi's on Enji. Let's say you were told by 3 different people that someone was a jerk, but you've never spoken to that person personally. You're going to think that person's a jerk. And even when you do finally learn more about this person, you'll probably be more likely to have a harsh judgment because you've already had these seeds planted in your mind about how the person is. What if we saw this backstory from the start, before any character gave you their opinion on Enji? Now, I'm not trying to tell you that you would be cool with what Enji did in the past, had you known all along, but I am arguing that you probably would not be as harsh. Shoto did not tell Deku about how Enji pleaded with Toya to stop trying to be a hero. Natsuo was shocked to learn how Enji continued to bring Rei flowers. What Endeavor did wrong is plain to see. He was a power-hungry, abusive, consumed man who only cared about one thing in the world and would do pretty much anything to accomplish it. Again, the dude's name is Endeavor. At the end of the day, he got what he wanted, or at least what he thought he wanted. Enji worked so hard his whole life, and for what? To become the #1 hero? Well, he got it. Not by working harder than All Might or becoming more popular in society, but by happenstance. I don't accept it. Not like this. Like I could accept it. I cannot accept it. That was how Enji reacted when he got the #1 spot. Enji had to reach this point in his life to understand what was truly important to him. And it was at the end of Endeavor #1, at the top of the hero mountain at last, that Enji realizes how foolish he was. Enji was still the same hero. As far as what he brought to society, nothing had changed about this. He just has a title to his name now. So damn, he looks cool, doesn't he? But he isn't saving more people. His family didn't automatically forgive him because the #1 is by his name now. What was he fighting so hard for? Thus beginning Enji's second and more meaningful endeavor. Enji's talk with All Might while Bakugo and Shoto were taking their remedial hero license exam was the first step in the right direction for his character. All Endeavor has known to this point is pride and selfishness. All Might was his greatest enemy for his entire hero career to this point. This may sound odd to you, but it couldn't be further from the truth. All Might was what stood in Endeavor's way of getting what he wanted, or thought he wanted, more than anything else in the world. Enji focused more on surpassing All Might than he did any single villain. Despite this, Enji takes his first steps as a new man and swallowed his pride. Now we see Enji prioritizing other issues ahead of his status as a hero. He asks All Might for advice. This is already something we would never see the old Endeavor do. Why now? because Enji understands how important his position is, not in a selfish way, but in a way to which he is thinking about the comfort of the citizens he is supposed to protect. He may not be the next symbol of peace, but Enji does not enjoy the fact that society feels so uneasy with him as their number one hero. After this exam, Enji talks to Shoto. He doesn't brag about he's number one now, or selfishly talk to Shoto as some tool to extend the Todoroki dominance over Hero Society. He says to Shoto, "I will work hard to become a hero you can be proud of." What? Since when does Enji care about if Shoto or anyone likes him? Later, Enji gets on stage during the formal unveiling of the updated hero charts, and as the newly officially proclaimed number one hero, he says, "Just watch me." He doesn't go all Mr. Kool-Aid, "Oh yeah, in your face, All Might." Enji realizes that number one means nothing, and is telling the world that he has begun a new endeavor, to be a better person. Enji understands now that it's not what you do, it's how you do it. Next example we have is Enji versus Hood. Enji's internal monologues during this fight are so well written. Enji is outmatched here. Through his sheer willpower, he literally pushes his broken body forward to continue the fight, to win. Not to be another step in his selfish desires, but because he knows the world is watching him as the newly appointed number one hero. Enji knows that if he fails here, the unease of society will skyrocket. Then we get Endeavor's parting words to Hood on the way up to the sky just before the final prominence burn. "You who are obsessed with strength, you are me, from the past or from another future. Burn up and be put to rest." It's as if in Enji's mind, Hood became the personification of his old self. The sentence applies to both, but probably even more so to the latter. There are many interactions with Enji after he became the number one hero. Enji holds true to the new person that he claims to be time and time again. Enji is trying to fix what he's broken. He's prioritizing others, especially his family. When Deku meets Endeavor at the beginning of the Endeavor Agency arc, Deku even comments how Enji seems different, comparing him to the last time they crossed paths at the sports festival. While the story is not 100% complete, we know enough now to see that Shoto has forgiven Endeavor. We see Rei and Natsuo in the same hospital room as Enji, and I think it's safe to say both of them are on their way towards forgiving Enji as well. Enji never once denied anything he had done or acted like it was okay since the beginning of his second endeavor. Regardless of the reason the family meeting takes place, we really see the Todoroki family come together in the last chapter. We see everyone owning up to a piece of the blame for Toya's past. The beauty of Endeavor's character is that Enji is living proof that people can change. Does everyone change? No. But in rare cases, certain individuals have these character-defining moments where they genuinely realize that what they were doing was wrong and sincerely desire to fix what they've broken. Enji's true endeavor was never to become the number one hero. It was to achieve atonement for what he's done. And the man is doing everything he possibly can to work towards this goal, as his name would suggest. At what point do you forgive somebody? When they've earned it? It depends on how bad they messed up. Who decides all that? You? Do you judge the speck in your brother's eye but ignore the plank in your own? Endeavor has thrown the ball back in your court, audience. At first, Enji is undeniably and without question in the wrong. But for 2 straight real-world years, this man has done nothing but good. Now it's on you to make the call. Personally, I started to forgive Enji after his talk with All Might about being the number one hero, but fully forgave Enji the moment he beat Hood. Not because he won the fight, but because this was actual evidence to support his words. The passion Endeavor used to win this fight here was to ease the hearts of the world. I think we as a society are very quick to jump to conclusions and make assertions about people in everyday life. I think the world would be a better place if we started to believe in the good of mankind instead of being so cynical about people. Will this blow up in your face sometimes? Absolutely. That doesn't mean that the next person is going to be the same way. Give people the benefit of the doubt, especially when they are doing everything they can to work towards something positive. You could change someone's entire life by being supportive of their attempts at change. Spread love, not hate. That's what's really going beyond. Plus Ultra.